Hey everyone, Linus here with technical information, and let's talk software testing. We all want our apps and programs to work flawlessly, right? No crashes, no glitches, just smooth sailing. But getting there? That can be a real pain. You've probably heard of testing, but between unit tests, integration tests, regression tests, it can feel like a never-ending maze of jargon. So you're probably thinking, Linus, I get it, testing is important, but where do I even start? Well, buckle up because I'm about to blow your mind with this concept called test-driven development, or TDD. This isn't your grandpa's testing method, folks. With TDD, you actually write your tests, you write a single line of code. I know, sounds crazy, right? But trust me, it's a game changer. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't just start laying bricks without a blueprint, would you? That's basically what coding without tests is like. With TDD, your tests become your blueprint. You define how you expect your code to behave, you even write it. This forces you to think through the logic and potential edge cases right from the get-go. And the beauty of it is, once you have those tests in place, you can run them automatically every time you make a change to your code. This immediate feedback loop is key. It's like having a super-powered spell checker that catches bugs the moment they're introduced. No more spending hours or even days trying to hunt down a pesky bug that could have been avoided in the first place. Plus, when you write tests first, your code naturally becomes more modular and easier to understand. It's like organizing your tools in the workshop. Everything has its place, making it a breeze to find what you need. Now, let's talk about taking your testing game to the next level with continuous integration and continuous testing, or CI/CD. This is where things get really efficient. Imagine a software development pipeline, kind of like an assembly line, where your code is constantly being built, tested, and deployed. That's CI/CD in a nutshell. Every time you make a change to your code and push it to a shared repository, like GitHub, a CI/CD server automatically kicks in. It grabs the latest version of your code, builds it, and runs all the tests you've defined. Think of it as an army of robot testers working tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure everything is running smoothly. If any of the tests fail, the CI/CD server immediately alerts the team, allowing you to catch and fix issues early on before they snowball into bigger problems. It's like having a smoke detector in your code base. It alerts you to potential fires before they can burn down the whole house. And because CI/CD automates the entire testing process, it frees up developers to focus on what they do best, writing awesome code. No more manually running tests or waiting for feedback. Everything happens seamlessly in the background, like magic. But CI/CD isn't just about speed, it's also about improving the quality and reliability of your software. By constantly integrating and testing your code, you can be confident that every change you make is thoroughly vetted and won't introduce new bugs. It's like having a safety net that catches you if you fall, giving you the peace of mind to experiment and innovate without fear of breaking things. Okay, so you've written your tests, you've got your CI/CD pipeline humming along nicely, but you're not out of the woods yet. What happens when you need to make changes to your code base, add new features, or fix existing bugs? This is where regression testing comes in. Imagine you're working on a giant jigsaw puzzle, and you finally get all the pieces to fit together perfectly. But then you need to swap out a few pieces to improve the overall picture. Regression testing is like making sure that those new pieces don't mess up the rest of the puzzle. It's all about ensuring that your software still works as expected after any changes have been made. This type of testing is crucial because even small code modifications can have unintended consequences. You might fix one bug only to introduce two more, like playing a never-ending game of whack-a-mole. But fear not, regression testing is here to save the day. By running your entire suite of tests after every code change, you can quickly identify any regressions or places where the software's behavior has changed unexpectedly. It's like having a time machine that lets you compare the current state of your code to a known good state, ensuring that you haven't accidentally broken anything along the way. And the best part is, with the right tools and automation in place, regression testing can be done quickly and efficiently, giving you the confidence to iterate and improve your software without fear of introducing new problems. Now, let's dive into a more free-form and creative approach to software testing, exploratory testing. This is where you get to put on your detective hat and think outside the box. Exploratory testing is all about exploring the software, experimenting with different inputs and scenarios, and seeing how it behaves. It's like being a kid in a candy store, except instead of candy, you're playing with code and trying to find all the hidden surprises it has to offer. Unlike scripted testing, where you follow a predefined set of instructions, exploratory testing encourages you to be curious, intuitive, and even a little bit mischievous. The goal is to uncover those weird, unexpected bugs that might not be caught by traditional testing methods. Think of it like stress testing your code, pushing it to its limits to see if it breaks. You might try entering invalid data, clicking buttons in rapid succession, or even just using the software in ways it wasn't intended to be used. The more creative and devious you are, the better your chances of finding those critical bugs that could bring your software to its knees. Alright, let's face it, testing every single aspect of your software can be a daunting task. That's where risk-based testing comes in. It's all about prioritizing your testing efforts based on the likelihood and impact of potential failures. Think of it like this. You wouldn't spend the same amount of time and energy testing a simple calculator app as you would testing a complex financial trading platform, right? Risk-based testing helps you focus your testing efforts on the areas that matter most, ensuring that you're getting the most bang for your buck. To do this, you need to identify the critical functionalities of your software, the areas where failures would have the biggest impact on your users or your business. Once you've identified the high-risk areas, you can then allocate your testing resources accordingly, focusing more time and effort on those critical components. This doesn't mean you completely ignore the low-risk areas, but it does mean you can streamline your testing efforts in those areas, freeing up resources to focus on the parts that really matter. Now, let's talk about a more advanced testing technique that can save you even more time and effort: model-based testing. This is where things get really interesting. Instead of manually creating test cases, you use models to automatically generate them for you. Think of it like having a robot test case writer that can churn out hundreds or even thousands of tests in a fraction of the time it would take you to do it manually. But how does it work? Well, you start by creating a model of your software, which is basically a representation of how it's supposed to behave. This model can be as simple or as complex as you need it to be, depending on the complexity of your software. Once you have your model, you can then use a model-based testing tool to automatically generate test cases based on the model's behavior. These test cases can then be executed automatically, just like with traditional testing methods. The beauty of model-based testing is that it can dramatically increase your test coverage, ensuring that you're testing all the different paths and scenarios that your software might encounter in the real world. It's like having an army of testers working around the clock to find every possible bug in your code. We're in the home stretch now, folks. You've written your tests, you've automated everything, and your software is looking pretty solid. But there's one final hurdle you need to clear before you can release it into the wild user acceptance testing, or UAT. This is where you put your software in the hands of real users to see how it performs in the real world. Think of it like a final exam for your software. It's the last chance for your users to identify any issues or areas for improvement before you release it to the public. UAT is crucial because it gives you valuable feedback from the people who matter most, your users. They'll be able to tell you if the software is intuitive and easy to use, if it meets their needs, and if there are any glaring usability issues that you might have missed during development. UAT is typically conducted in a controlled environment where you can observe how users interact with your software and gather their feedback. You can use a variety of methods for UAT, such as surveys, interviews, and usability testing sessions. The key is to make it as easy as possible for your users to provide honest feedback, so you can make any necessary adjustments before your software goes live. All right, your software is tested, it's user-friendly, but can it handle the pressure of 1,000 users all at once? That's where load and performance testing come in. This isn't about finding bugs, it's about making sure your software is a well-oiled machine. Imagine you're launching a rocket. You wouldn't just hit go without making sure the engines could handle the stress, right? Load testing is like putting those engines through their paces. It's about simulating real-world usage scenarios, like hundreds or even thousands of users accessing your website or app simultaneously. You can then monitor key performance indicators like response times, error rates, and resource utilization to see how your software holds up under pressure. Performance testing, on the other hand, is like fine-tuning those rocket engines. It's about identifying bottlenecks and optimizing your code to ensure that your software is running as efficiently as possible. This might involve things like database optimization, caching, and load balancing. By conducting load and performance testing, you can identify and address any scalability issues before they become major problems. It's like giving your software a good workout at the gym, making sure it's in top shape to handle whatever the real world throws at it. So there you have it, folks, a crash course in the world of software testing. We've covered a lot of ground, but the key takeaway is this. Testing is not an optional extra, it's an essential part of building high-quality software. By embracing the testing techniques we've discussed, you can catch bugs early, improve the reliability of your software, and ultimately deliver a better user experience.